So Eddie, tell us about the wonderful train exhibit here, Riding the Rails.
Oh, riding the rails is, for me, it's just a lot of fun because I'm a train fanatic. And anything to do with railroads, I get extremely excited over. And right now, here at the museum, we have a great exhibit, as you can now see, of some wonderful items from the railroad era, past and present, including a model railroad setup that you are now filming. And we have a great engine, which is a Mikado, made by Mike's Train House, that not only gives you the sound effects of the chugging effect, but also it smokes and whistles and the bell rings and it does all the things that a real engine would do.
Wonderful. And whose train is this?
Well, this train now belongs to the museum, and the entire platform was put together by the Coachella Valley model railroaders out of Indio. They came to our aid and gave us a great hand in putting everything together, helping build the platform, and also constructing a lot of the scenery that you now see. We were very lucky in that I was attempting to put some of the buildings together, and of course my talents in that area is somewhat limited, but they came in and gave us a big hand to make sure everything was put together properly and to scale.
So this whole setup belongs to La Quinta Museum?
It now belongs to the Quinta Museum, yes.
For heaven's sakes.
You got to come by and see it. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be here up through January the 10th, and we have a lot of artifacts from a bygone era, turn of the century lanterns and conductors' lanterns.
Let's take a look.
That you would really love to see.
I see there's
some incredible posters.
Posters, beautiful.
And artwork from the various railroads that came through Southern California over the past 100 years. Here you have some china that was used toward the, rather in the dining cars during those early years of the Southern Pacific when it came through this part of California. And a lot of pieces are broken that was found by the track because they didn't obviously repair any of the broken china. They would just take it and throw it on the side of the railroad as
throw it out the
opposed to
window.
doing anything else with it. But we also have a lot of pieces that are incomplete, that are complete and very good shape. And these are very rare and very difficult to get your hands on, and we have a nice selection of china to view.
Wonderful. And some photos, and this huge drawing of an engine.
Yeah, these, we have two drawings of two great engines up on the wall. One is the Union Pacific Challenger, and the other is the Union Pacific Big Boy. The Challenger was a 4664 that ran through this area in the late 50s, and prior to that, this engine was built in 1943 and had an incredible amount of horsepower of 5,400 horsepower that pulled trains almost a mile long.
And the Southern Pacific was the route that ran across the southern part of the United States.
Well, the southern part of the United States as well as, of course, all through California.
And these are some signal lights?
Track lanterns and switching lanterns. These are conductors' lanterns that were used to identify trains and to signal trains as they were traveling at night. And also in there you have some track, which is very interesting because not only do you see the track from a bygone era, but you also see present-day tracks. You can see the difference in the size of the track and get an idea of how the track has changed over these many years.
And here are some spikes.
Right.
The golden spike, sort of.
Well, the golden spike, of course, is the one that was used in Utah to commemorate the crossing of the country and the completion of the railroads joining together.
Very interesting, very interesting. What a wonderful exhibit, and look at these beautiful posters.
Yeah, this is a poster which is a great painting of the daylight that traveled especially from Northern California, San Francisco, down to San Diego. And this is one of the most beautiful engines that was ever created and built that ran in Southern California. And it's one of those that's very rare. There's still a few around that you can see at various museums. But this was no doubt one of the most beautiful engines that ever ran on the rails.
There's another model train over here too, isn't there?
Oh, yes.
Let's go take a peek.
One from a good friend of
Oh,
ours.
first, let's look at this model
Oh.
here.
Here you have a model of the Indio Railroad. Now, this station was located...
Railroad Depot.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Depot. I apologize. And this was located down on Jackson and Indio Boulevard. And unfortunately, it burnt to the ground in 1966. But this is a replica that was created and is all hand built, and it's done with a great bit of detail. And once you come in and take a look at this, because it really gives you an idea of how incredible this station was when it was in operation.
Huge. Yeah. Now let's see this other model train.
Yeah, this is a Gilbert-built American Flyer, and this particular engine and those cars are probably from, obviously, the 1930s. And this was owned by a very good friend of the museum, the mayor of Quinta, Don Adolph.
This is Don Adolph's train?
The Honorable Don Adolph's train,
wonderful.
yes.
Wonderful.
And he allowed us to display it at the museum as part of our exhibit. And we were very pleased to certainly have that, because it's very rare that you can find any type of electric trains of this type, especially American Flyer, the one that had 3 rails. Most of them in the 50s and 60s went back to 2 rails, and now they have one that has 3 rails. You know, it was much earlier in its manufacturing date. So for him to allow us to display this and let the world see it is wonderful. It's a beautiful piece of machinery built by the Gilbert Company, and it's almost impossible to find this anymore.
Okay, well, we want everyone to come down and see the exhibit in person. It's free, and the museum is open.
From 10 to 4, Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay.
And we're here every day, and if there's anything we can answer in terms of questions, please when you get it, just let us know.
Okay.
And we'll be more than happy to give you any information that you may require.
Great. Thank you very much for the railroad tour.
Oh, you're very welcome. And the train is still running. We just left your town, USA, and we're now going through the countryside.
Disappearing into the tunnel.
Well, let's see. We should be blowing a whistle as we get into the tunnel, just to make sure that let everyone know that we're there.
There it is.